Well, welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. Anyone here for Commissioners Public Forum? Hearing no one. What do you got for us, Paul, in the way of meeting minutes?
First of all, wish everybody a happy MMXXII, and we will make a motion to approve the minutes of 12/7/21, December 7th.
We have a
I
second.
need a second.
I will second that.
Very good. Any discussion? Hearing none. How about a roll call vote, Peter?
Mr. Ridlack,
Aye.
Mr. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Gagner,
Aye.
and Mr. Jennings.
Aye. What's next, Paul?
Next, I'd like to make a motion to approve the following warrants. First, we have commissioner salaries at $500. The next 10 are for Veolia, starting with the alkalinity adapter Regent kit, $47.67. And then the alkalinity adapter, $20,000, $20,835.07. And then service called the EQ2A ground fault tank, $317.07. Mugget Hill Pump Station, there was no power down there, $450. Does that not need to be said to whom that's paid?
It's fine. You
It
don't
just
have
says
to.
pump station. Okay, I mean, I don't know who.
That would be
Who
the
served it? Oh, okay. The pack delivery on 8/11/2021, $4,254.12. The new VFD on EQ Tank 3, $951.21. The VFD on Comag Mixer number 2, $211.38. And the temporary VFD on Comag Mixer number 3, $211.38. Also, we have discharge pipe repair on Mugget Hill Pump Station, $6,725. And sludge removal for October 2021, $715. Next, we have the Boston Globe for the processing the quarterly invoices, $290.14. Major Safety Service for shipping on the confined entry kits, $182.72. And Manthon Automotive for truck service, $544.12. Now we have WB Mason office supplies, $16.48. And another one for WB Mason for more office supplies, $4.38. And Amazon for office supplies, $28.41. We have Woodard and Curran SCADA services through October 3rd, 2021, $20,114. And then MHQ Incorporated for the pickup truck, $50,219. A Diversified Sign, $150. And O'Malley's truck services and auto, $35. And the town of Oxford for electricity, $57,235. And lastly, another one for WB Mason, $10.35, for a grand total of $164,148.47. That's complete.
Do we have a second?
I will second the warrants.
Any discussion?
I've certainly got discussion. I'm not understand the electric bill for $57,000 to the town of Oxford.
So we're in the town of Charlton is in a power purchase agreement with a company, and we pay the bills through the town of Oxford at a discounted rate. So that amount is for 8 months of bills, correct, Sue?
Yes.
So we actually get
So
a great rate through them.
We haven't paid anything in for the last 8 months, and it's accumulated to this.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
All that money was encumbered from last year's budget.
Okay. Was this electricity derived from solar power or not? I
I'm
don't
not,
know
s-
why we were in with the town of Oxford if it wasn't.
I'm not sure exactly how the agreement works. I just know we get a great discount on our electricity rate. Previously, we weren't paying the town of Oxford, we were paying National Grid Direct, but something changed through the selectman's office.
We were paying the board of select, well, we were paying the selectman's office, and then they were just making the payment. They were cashing it kind of and then sending it to Oxford. While we got rid of that and we're just paying Oxford directly now.
And this would be the entire processing plant in addition to all the pump stations. Everything's included in this bill.
Yes,
Okay.
but there's about $4,000 savings each month doing it this way.
Yeah, I do recall all electric bills used to be anywhere from 10 or 12,000. So I agree.
Very good. Any further questions? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Mr. Ridlack,
Aye.
Mr. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Gagner,
Aye.
and Mr. Jennings.
Aye. All right. MOR, Vinny here with us this evening.
He
Yes,
is,
sir.
Take it away, Vinny.
Okay, I'll be covering the monthly operating report for November 2021. The plant was fully staffed by myself, Dylan Moriarty, and Patrick Adams. For health and safety, we completed all the safety checklists. Hand sanitizer, antibacterial wipes were available at all the key points. November 11th, we completed Veolia's monthly inspection report, and that just kind of, we've done it all along. We've just never highlighted it on here. So it's nothing new for us. The training for the month of November was on cold stress and winter safety. And previously, you guys always saw that these were on JJ Keller. Veolia transitioned it all to the VNA University, which is just a program launched through Veolia. It gives them a better way of tracking who's actually completed all the training. And it lets them track if everybody passed it too. So there's a little change there, same idea though. Compliance for the month of November, there were no exceedances. We passed the fourth quarter toxicity. Although there were no exceedances, the last week of November, there was a elevated influent VOD. It was reported by the lab at 1,100 milligrams per liter, which is more than 4 times household levels. VOD is the measurement of the organics breaking down, how much oxygen they consume. And it indicated that some heavy loading is coming into the plant. So I just wanted you guys to know that was happening. The monthly DMR was completed and submitted on December 15th. The fourth quarter toxicity DMR was also submitted at the same time. Operations and maintenance activities. Secondary clarifier number 1 stopped flowing from the bottom drain on 11/1. We called in some sewer service. They were out here all day long with a tanker truck sucking that clarifier down. When we got to the very bottom of it, it was after 6 at night, and we found a chunk of rubber had fallen over the drain. And I mean, it was so perfectly placed. There's a rake arm in there that moves things around, and the rake arm was missing it by about 1/4 of an inch. It was like the perfect scenario. So we located where that rubber came from. Somebody had made patches sometime in the past, and we took all those patches off and we fixed it without using rubber. It's basically mixing ports, and they just covered the mixing ports with the rubber. We cut the mixing ports, bent them back so they're round, and then painted all the metal so we won't have any rot issues. On 11/5, Comag Clarifier 1 floated a blanket, and that's when the sludge at the bottom, which we're trying to suck the sludge from the bottom of the tank, it's when all that sludge just kind of floats to the top because it gets old. And this wasn't the first time it happened, but we decided to drain that clarifier and see why it happened. And when we drained it, we noticed that the rake arm wasn't turning. However, the drive at the top was working normal. So our daily checks we see the clarifier working the way it's supposed to. But when we got all the liquid out, we could tell there was something wrong. In the packet you guys got, there's a couple of pictures attached there. And what I'm showing you is there's a guide pin welded into the bottom of the tank. And that's that little nub that looks kind of torn with the black stuff in it. And then there's the shaft in the back of the truck with that opening. That opening shouldn't be there. That should be a solid round tube that slides over a pin. So it just ate itself from friction. We brought it down to New England Pump and Valve in Niantic, Connecticut, and they're fabricating us a new one out of 304 stainless steel. There we go. Thank you, Pete. When they're done fabricating the new one, they're waiting on the materials now. I guess it wasn't as easy to get as they thought. But when it all comes in and it's done being fabricated, they're going to install the new shaft and they're going to weld in a new guide pin into the bottom of the clarifier. And they quoted a very fair price to get that done. That's still not fully adjusted to the ferric coagulant change. Today it's actually dialed in, but as at the time of the MOR, we were fighting it every day. I mean, a little spike in alkalinity and turbidity is hard to control. So we were really on our toes all through November and most of December. We installed the rest of the alkalinity analyzer. We finished the plumbing up, had the electricians here, and on 11/10, the Hawk rep came in and started the unit up, and he gave us about an 8-hour day of training on how to operate it, what to look for, and what to expect out of the unit. And so far, it's been running since we had it turned on, and it does a good job. It shows us the information we were looking for. We thought when we added lime that it just kind of blended into the system and we didn't notice a big spike. But with this analyzer, we can actually see when somebody adds the lime. The Comag train, number 2 polymer pump blew a line, and they wear out, and that does happen. But when we shut it off and replaced it, we went to restart the pump and it wouldn't start. So we had to take our spare pump and put that in service. So we had to order a new spare pump. RBC number 2, we replaced the main drive chain on it. It took about 19 feet of number 160 chain. That's a really large chain. It's about 2 inches from pin to pin. And when we had the brand new one and the old one there, you could physically see without measuring the wear difference on the rollers. It was long overdue, but still functional. We also installed the new plant water pump in November. The reason we installed the new pump was parts availability. I called a bunch of suppliers for the parts to fix plant water pump we have. And they can all get them, but they couldn't get them until the end of January or February. I did find one vendor that actually had the pump sitting on the shelf, so we ordered it and just got it in service. When we installed that new pump, we also put in a brand new check valve, and that'll protect it from any water handling. In the collection system, the Stevens Park pump station, it started giving us some random calls. You'd call out an alarm and it would say it's okay now. The guys would go out and check it and it'd be nothing wrong, nothing out of the ordinary. And this was still one of the old Rayco dialers. So we bought a new sensor phone dialer and had the electricians install it. No problem since we changed it. We flushed the force main on Sunset Drive. That was a couple of day project. Started all the way at one end and just worked every couple of manholes we'd hook up and just pump water through. Highway department gave us a hand with that. They brought the truck out with a couple of water tanks on it to make it easier. And everything went really smooth. We did Sunset and Hollywood.
Did you find anything, Vinny, that you were surprised?
Well, my original thoughts were we had a restriction somewhere anyways. The types of service calls we've been getting in that area and the problems we've been seeing all kind of signal that there might be a restriction, and that's why we went out and flushed we had a couple of houses with broken services. And the way those services typically get broken is either installation error or overpressure. Now, both of the ones that I've seen repaired had installation issues, but they happen to show up around the same time. So maybe it was a combination of a pressure issue and an installation problem. But we haven't really had any issues since we were done with that. We did go out and we changed one check valve on Sunset also. I think it was number 211. That'll be in next month's MOR. Then the pump station activities, nothing out of the ordinary. We did our daily rounds to the 4 main stations. We did the weekly alarm testing. We run the generators once a month. And because we're in the cold weather, we hit all those generators with some anti-gel, so we don't have any diesel gelling problems. Now, I've also added a little more onto the MOR. We have the sludge loads that we hauled. And typically, I really didn't post this on here, but I figured you guys would like to know what the new contract. So for the month of November, we took 7 loads of sludge out. And the chemicals that we received during November, we have 550 gallons of sodium hydroxide, 25%. 25 pounds of magnetite and 220 pounds of Clarifloc, which is pollen. 9 pump calls per month. We only had 2. One of them was the discharge pipe from the house to the tank was blocked, and that's something we don't handle, so we recommended they called their plumber. And the other one, we had a bad pump at 35 Sunset. We received 172 DigSafe requests. It's a large number. Most of them we don't physically go out and look at because stuff we don't need to. It's either not on the sewer system or just repeat calls that have already been marked. And that concludes the MOR for the month of November 2021. Any questions?
All right, here are no questions. Thank you, Vinny.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Vinny.
Sorry, I was running late, everybody. So I'm assuming we're on to new business, Peter?
Yes, new business. We have a request for chapter 61 release, 61A release, 44-acre parcel on Sampson Road. Again, as part of this request, the Board of Selectmen has a right of first refusal to purchase the property and ask that the departments in town make a recommendation on whether or not there is a need for them to exercise that right. This 44-acre parcel is being sold for $1.5 million. I do not believe it's in our best interest to purchase that at that price. So I'd recommend that we let the Board of Selectmen know that we don't see the need to initiate the right of first refusal.
All right, can somebody make a motion?
Such.
And I will second that.
Who said that?
Russ,
Okay.
Cameron seconded.
Yes.
Any discussion? Peter, roll call vote, please.
all right, Mr. Ridlack,
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the motion?
sure. I believe the motion was to make the recommendation as,
To the board.
as mentioned, correct, as stated, Russ?
Correct.
So, what exactly are we voting on in this motion?
You're voting on letting the Board of Selectmen know that we do not see the need to exercise their right of first refusal on this parcel.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. So roll call vote, Mr. Ridlack,
Aye.
Mr. Cameron, Mr. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Gagner,
Aye.
Mr. Jennings,
Aye.
and Mr. Cantwell.
Aye.
Great.
Moving on, home business, water line construction update.
Yes, so there really hasn't been much going on with the water line construction, so the update will be pretty quick. Just mention it that the final date for residents to request a connection from ExxonMobil is April 6th, 2022. Mailings should have went out again from ExxonMobil over the holidays, so residents should be seeing those coming in. Albanese Brothers continues to install service lines to homes. They're focusing on getting the pads done and the water line connections done for the two schools, the Heritage School and the middle school. The enclosement structures for the meters should be in hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So they will be able to get those installed, get the meters, and get the permanent hookups for both the Heritage School and the middle school done as soon as possible. So I think so far there were 146 signed agreements of people committing to connect. 127 of those connections have been completed, and 121 of those services have been activated. So they made quite a bit of progress this summer. They will be back in the spring to finish those residential connections and then start decommissioning the wells.
Fantastic. Peter, in front of me, I have the agenda that I got the other day, and I know there's some more business that needs to be discussed. I don't have that in front of me.
Okay. Were there any questions on the water line construction update?
I have one.
Okay.
They sent out, Kleinfelder sent out a certified mailing. We sent out one from us, not certified. Are we sending out another one from us?
I don't think we're going to send out another one. Didn't we discuss that we were not going to send out another one because we didn't want people to get confused?
Okay.
I have a question. What is the purpose of the $2,000 hookup fee that Southbridge collects?
That's under Southbridge regs. That's the amount they collect for any 1-inch water line connections. So ExxonMobil has been paying that for every connection that they make.
I understand they're paying it, but I thought the purpose of it was for maintenance of, they get it in the first place because they have many expenses later on. And I'm just wondering if they're entitled to the whole amount, because we have the responsibility of fixing those pipes if there's anything wrong that goes wrong with them. Southbridge is collecting the initial fee, but we're gonna get the bill.
Correct.
Is that thought crossed anybody else's mind?
Yes, but under the intermunicipal agreement, we get a portion of those fees collected annually. So based on the amount of users we have versus the amount of users that Southbridge has, the percentages figured out from that equation, and then we get a portion of the amount collected on an annual basis as part of our annual true-up from Southbridge.
I know we get that, but it didn't seem, well, whatever. It is what it is, but I had second thoughts about it. That's all.
Yeah. So again, that connection fee is just based on what Southbridge collects from their rate structure. So any new customer has to do that, and then based on the IMA that was signed back in 2015 or 2016, we get a portion of that annually.
Any more questions? Go ahead, Peter.
All right, so moving on to other business, I was talking with John Perry from Langen Engineering earlier. They sent us over a set of final utility plans for the 53 Sturbridge Road project, the Amazon project. And they're getting ready to submit their application to Mass DOT to connect to the water and sewer lines in Route 20. And he was looking for a letter of support from the commission. So I know we've discussed this, I think it was back in May at one of your prior meetings where it was discussed and there wasn't much resistance to the connections being made. So as I review the plans and we'll go and come to you for a formal approval in the near future, I think it'd be important to try and get a letter of support for I guess, this interconnection to be made in Route 20 for the water and sewer infrastructure onto their property. And
Through the
just-
chair, if I might.
Go
Peter,
ahead, Russell.
I thought we had, discussed that letter of support, and it had referenced, peer review and so on and so forth.
That was for the 241 Sturbridge Road project.
Oh, okay. All
And
right.
that one referenced
You're right,
peer
sorry.
review because of, they have to extend the sewer main quite a bit.
Yep.
Fortunately, John and Langen Engineering is the engineer for both sites, so we have some consistency there. But, no, this is, Sue and I looked back in the minutes, this morning after talking to John, and there was no formal vote taken. So that's why we amended the agenda, put this under other business. And I believe if we just, again, vote to have a letter of support drafted for this interconnection, where we should be good to go for now. And then as I review the final utility plans over the next week or two and, ask John some questions, we'll probably have those ready for you to review and approve, hopefully in your February meeting. But this way
Right.
here, they can go ahead and get that Mass DOT application submitted with that letter of support.
All right, I'll make a motion that we have Peter draft the letter of support from our board in support of this connection.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
I just want, John, is that satisfactory? Will that cover what you need?
Yeah, I think that works for us. I appreciate it.
All right. Great.
Thank you.
All right. Can I give a roll call vote, Peter?
Sure. Mr. Ridlack,
Aye.
Mr. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Gagner,
Aye.
Mr. Jennings,
Aye.
and Mr. Cantwell.
Aye.
Great.
Good night, everyone. Thanks, Peter.
Thanks for
Appreciate
coming,
it.
John. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Bye.
Next meeting,
Can we do Tuesday, February 8th? No objection.
no objections. I get a,
So I know for many of you, this might be your first time going into executive session. So we do have some issues to discuss that fall under the exclusions of the open meeting law so that we can adjourn and go into executive session. The motion is fairly precise and is printed out for someone to read. And again, we'll just let the public know that we are considering purchasing property in the Denfield and Carpenter Hill Road area. And the motion will allow us to go into executive session under Mass General Law 38, Section 21A, number 6. So the reading of the motion does have to be word for word for what's in our agenda. So if there's no objection and if there's no other business to come in front of us in open session, someone can make the motion to go into executive session.
can I have somebody make that motion, please?
I think they're trying to find it on the agenda.
I don't have access to that in front of me.
I can,
And then in that case, I guess I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting and enter executive session.
give me one sec here. So the motion has to state everything under item 9. So the motion, so in essence, someone will make a motion to discuss the Santos property on Harrington, Denfield, and Carpenter Hill Road and go into executive session under Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A, number 6, to consider the purchase, exchange, lease of value of real estate if the chair declares that an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the public body. And we'll also be approving the executive meeting minutes of 9/23/2019. So that's the motion that needs to be stated by a member. I know
All
it
right.
seems kind of super formal, but to go into executive session and have everything done correctly and have our I's dotted and T's crossed, it just needs to be done this way in case it's ever challenged.
I understand. That makes sense to me. So in that case, I make a motion to discuss Santos property on Harrington, Denfield, and Carpenter Hill Road. Go into executive session under Mass General Law C-30A, Section 21A, Number 6, to consider the purchase, exchange, lease of value of real estate. If the chair declares that an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiation position of the public body, and also the approval of executive meeting minutes on September 23rd, 2020.
I'll second.
All in favor? Roll call vote, Peter.
Yeah, roll call vote. Mr. Ridlack,
Aye.
Mr. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Gagner,
Aye.
Mr. Jennings,
Aye.
and Mr. Cantwell.
Aye.
All right, so Mr. Chairman, you have to read that underlined statement right after the motion, and then we'll be good to go into executive session.
The commission will come out of executive session for the sole purpose of adjournment.
Yep. And then you also have to declare that the open meeting will have a detrimental effect, and we'll be good to go.
I declare that the open meeting will have a detrimental effect on the negotiations of the property or possession.
Great. All right, so I'm going to pause the